every one of us as women. The topic tonight is embracing womanhood, the final frontier. And we are concluding this wonderful month of March because we celebrated International Women's Day. It was an entire month where we also honored women's history, and the UN had a commission on the status of women. So we are closing out this month with a bang. I feel like this webinar is icing on the cake. And I'm really excited to dig into this topic and introduce you to our speakers this evening. But before we get into that, I'd first like to introduce our wonderful president of Women's Federation for World Peace USA, Ms. Kayleigh Moffitt, to give you some background and context of our founder's peace philosophy on this topic. So Kayleigh, please come up on the stage.
Thank you. And good evening, everybody. We actually, when we were mapping out our online programs for the first 6 months of this year, we were so excited about this month. We couldn't wait. The theme came to us right away. And I love that Glenda put in the title. It's the perfect title because we really believe that embracing true womanhood is the final missing piece when it comes to building a world that has sustainable peace and happiness in our families and in our society and in our communities. And I'll get into it in just a little bit about our founder's philosophy on true womanhood and why it's a little bit different from what may be talked about when we talk about feminism and the feminist point of view. Mother Moon, she's a world-renowned leader who works with people from every background, every nation, every culture, every religion. And she is such an example of what it means to be a true woman. She's not only the founder of our organization, but she's someone I personally look up to. And I aspire to become a woman leader like her because she has really been able to embrace womanhood and allow herself to be a woman leader and not try to imitate or be just like, counterpart men leaders, but to stand in her own right as a true woman. And what does that mean? There are 3 points from her peace philosophy of true womanhood that we want to highlight tonight. And then our esteemed speakers are going to share their experience and their perspective on this topic, and then we'll engage in a discussion together. And I do want to give a shout out because without even knowing it, tonight has turned into a celebration of our Arizona Women's Federation and Global Women's Peace Network leaders. So we want to give a great thank you to the chapter of Arizona that's been working so hard. So the 3 points that Mother Moon talks about in her peace philosophy is that she talks about this concept of the true liberation of women is not about trying to become like this image of what we think a quote unquote leader should be, but it's about awakening within ourselves who we are as a divine incarnate of our Creator, that our Creator also has the ability to represent a motherly love and a feminine love and a feminine perspective. And that actually this power each woman has to touch in families and in leadership and in communities comes from our Creator, and it's a reflection of our Creator. And the more that we can embrace that, the more we can stand correctly as true women. The second point is that there should be no competition between men and women. We, as Women's Federation, we love and uplift and honor our male counterparts who are also doing fantastic work in peace building and contributing to their families. And we recognize that they have unique qualities that only they can bring to society, and we need them. At the same time, there are unique perspectives and qualities that women have. And because of how our society has been throughout the ages, that perspective has been missing. So now is the time to really uplift this woman's point of view, not in competition with the male point of view, but in a complementary relationship between men and women. And the third point is that you might have noticed it in the introduction video, but that we really believe that now more than ever, the woman's touch in peace building and in creating a society that has happiness and peace and joy, the woman's touch is needed now more than ever. But it also means that women have a responsibility to work on ourselves, just because we're women, we do have an innate ability to tap into a certain perspective, but we also have to grow, right? We also have to take responsibility for ourselves to be able to be what we would call true women, women who really exemplify these divine innate qualities of true women. So, as I mentioned, all of this comes from our founder, Dr. Hak Jahan Moon, whom we call Mother Moon, because she really has this motherly heart for the whole world, no matter where you're from and what your background is. And everything that we do is trying to make this vision, this philosophy, this hope for the world come into fruition. And so I want to thank everybody who was able to join us tonight and all those who are watching on Facebook and will watch the recording later. And I'm very much looking forward to the ladies who are sharing today. I know all of them, and I know that they have a lot to share on this topic. So I will pass it back to you, Adia, and looking forward to hearing from everybody.
Thank you, Kaylee. All right, that was beautiful. And yes, I echo that excitement of getting started on this topic. So, our first speaker this evening is Councilmember Christine Ellis from the city of Chandler, Arizona. Councilmember Christine Ellis embodies a blend of professional excellence and unwavering dedication to community service. Born and raised in Haiti, she immigrated to the United States in 1982 and eventually settled in Chandler in 1987. With a Bachelor of Science in Nursing from Grand Canyon University and ongoing studies in the Psychiatric Mental Health Nurse Practitioner Program at Walden University, she has established herself as a prominent figure in the healthcare field. Her career has seen her hold pivotal roles, including Director of Nursing at various hospitals and care facilities in the Metro Phoenix area. Beyond her professional endeavors, she has been a stalwart advocate for community welfare. She founded and operated Cedar Sanctuary LLC, offering families an alternative solution for the care of their loved ones. Additionally, she has been deeply involved in the Bridge FCS ministry for over 2 decades, serving the needs of the local homeless population while addressing their spiritual well-being. Her outstanding commitment to community outreach earned her a prestigious presidential medal. Currently serving as a council member, Councilwoman Ellis brings her wealth of experience and passion to various local and regional committees, including those focusing on mobility, quality of life, and human services. Her involvement extends to influential positions within organizations such as the Maricopa Association of Governments, the National League of Cities, and the National Haitian American Elected Officials Networks. Please welcome Councilwoman Christine Ellis.
Good evening, all. I just unmute myself. Thank you so much. I appreciate the introduction and I appreciate what have been spoken prior to me coming on the call right now. What an honor it is to be with you all this evening. I find it so inspiring to see all of us women coming together to discuss these shared challenges and opportunities into womanhood that present itself to us today. It is very important to have forums like this. I think we should always make a space where we can all come within that space to collaborate, to connect, and to lift each other's up. The reason why I'm on this call, and I will say it very, very candidly, is because I adore Miss Ria. I love her spirit of voluntarism. I love her love for community, everything godly, everything that has to do with sisterhood. I have seen her exemplify that. And so therefore, I aspire to be like her in so many different ways, even though I'm older than her. So, but the fact of the matter is, I could not say no when she invited me. And also the fact that I have been watching from the time this organization have been introduced to me, I have been watching the leadership, the women, starting with Mother Moon, as it was so explained prior, her love for others, and it emanates out of her when she's in a room. She brings it with her, and you cannot feel nothing but love from her heart and receive it in yourself. So therefore, I see myself as that person who never want to leave someone that I have met unchanged for the better. And I see her like that. And that in itself radiated with me in such a way that tonight I had to be here in order for me to partake with you all and give you a little bit of who I am and what I have accomplished in the space that we are talking when we talk about a true woman, a woman of dignity. And the Bible said it very clear. Who can find, who can find a woman that is righteous, a woman that is willing to lay her life down for those that God have put into her path? Tonight, I've been asked to speak on the idea of women leaders as a clear mirrors of the ages. For me, this relates directly to my role as an elected official, because I wouldn't have been in this seat, I don't think, if God had not ordered my step in order for me to be elected in this position as a council member for the city of Chandler. I am the first Black woman on the city council for the city of Chandler. When I decided to run for council, I did not go into this race with that distinction title in my mind. But what I wanted to do, as all of you might testify if you follow me, is the fact that I came from a perspective of love. I wanted to do this for the love of Chandler. And it so happened that as that was dropped into my spirit, that became the slogan for my campaign. This has become my mantra, a daily reminder of the larger purpose behind everything that I do, the work that I have done, the work that I'm doing now, and the work that I look to do in the future. Every single day that I get up and I go to the 5th floor, downtown Chandler, so many of you probably have visited us there, there's only one thing in my mind. I want to do something that will help to make someone's life better than it was before. However, my road to get there has not really so quick nor easy. It was not. I have lived here in Chandler for 38 years. I've run a business here in Chandler for over 20 years prior to selling it. At one time, my sister and I, we had owned 19 houses, and in which we had taken care of elderly, those that were really needing help. So as a matter of fact, my background, my forte is in Alzheimer's and dementia, because I found a niche where I could be able to take care of those truly who have battling the worst thing that you could ever feel that you have, where you don't even know who you are anymore. And you can't remember your name, you can't remember your children, you can't remember nothing from your past. And at times, I find that to be so liberating, because also I can sit down with one of my patients and have a 2-hour conversation with them. And when I get up, we were talking about the same thing over and over for 2 hours. And I find myself relaxed. I found myself really paying attention so that I was able to continue the conversation in a manner that they will feel that the dignity was still there. So what have I accomplished in that frame of time prior to become a council member that helps me with who I am today? I think the main thing, it has to go back to the time when I was growing up in Haiti as a little girl. The day that I was born, 7,500 people died that day. And every time I speak on that subject, I also have to pinch myself and realize what a blessing for me to actually have survived that day in order for me to be who I am right now. So in fact, that really helped me to always say that I was born for a time just like this. So that brought me, my dad immigrated here in 1970s in New York area. I came here at 17 years old. I decided education was the path that I was gonna take. Staying in school was important to me. So I stayed in school. I saw myself move forward. I met a wonderful young man at an airport in Houston, Texas. And we met, we got married in New York. We moved here, Grand Canyon, Grand Canyon. We had our honeymoon. We moved here in Chandler. We have 2 beautiful kids, which I lost my son, my oldest one, 2 years ago with a massive heart attack. So he will forever be lived in our heart. And my daughter, last week, I drove her to Florida to get her all established for her clinicals in her medical school. So by the end of the next year and the year of next year, she will be an MD pursuing a medical pathway to be an orthopedic surgeon. So I condensed all these years of my life into these few words that I have just mentioned. But I think what really truly impacted me the most is the fact that when I was growing up on my grandfather's knees, I've watched a man who have held every position that you can think of when it comes to leadership and being elected. But the one thing that I saw in him was the servant heart that he had for the people that in that village where I grew up, and those also in Port-au-Prince where we were. My grandfather always said, you take care of the people and the people will take care of you. So that, in a way, have given me a pathway to continue to see people as those who are created by God, and whatever impasse that I meet them in, or phase of their lives that I meet them in, there's a reason for it. Whether it's me who's going to impact them or they are going to impact me. Whichever way, that collision was not by accident. And there was always something good that's going to come out of it. So I'm fortunate, very fortunate to stand on the strong shoulders of other female leaders also that have come before me. And I mentioned it earlier, I'm the first Black woman. Why? Sometimes I ask myself that question. And the only answers that I can come with is because I said yes to it. Because there are so many more merited people, more qualified people, educated people, richer people, people with better background than myself. But until we can say yes to love, until we can say yes to the work that has been dedicated for us to do on this earth, as I think Mother Moon always alluded to that each one of us have a greater purpose here on this earth. Until we can say yes to those things, we will never see them to completion. And so I tasked my staff, because I wanted to know how many women leaders that we have had in Chandler prior to me coming in. And there's one now right after me. And currently in this race, I think we have 2 other women that I will say I inspire to, because nobody was really pushing through those things. Well, I found out, they did the research for me through the Chandler Museum. I found out that there was 14 other women who have served on council going back to 1956. So this is such an amazing thing for me to have found out. And each one of these women, they opened the doors and paved the way for me particularly to be here today, because I came in Chandler 38 years ago. We have people in 1956 who have already served as women into this council. So I encourage you all to do the same. Get up. Those of you on this call right now, you might be asking yourselves, men or women, where do I fit into all the fabric of this? What can I accomplish in this chaos that this world is handing us right now? To raise children in, to be able to be great mothers, to be able to also be great leaders, leaders that lead with honesty, good intention toward the people. How do we do that? The goals that we want to achieve and also we want to ascend to, we need to ensure that we leave the doors open for other women that are on their way. We need to be able to look back and see, how can we pave a way for them? How can we bring one else with us? Each time we look back, is there someone reaching out, asking us, how can they come through? And then us, within ourselves, we can find the peace and the love in us to be able to pull them back. I see my role on council as acting as a mirror for my city, reflecting the voices of Chandler, the people here, the women here in Chandler. I have Miss Ria in my ears constantly encouraging me to be such a woman when I walk in a room, to speak of women in a manner that will give respect respect that will elevate them. I see myself carrying women with me when I walk in a room. So therefore, I'm constantly in my frontal lobe, if you understand that part of the brain, is always figuring out how can I elevate another woman even when they are not here with me. Everything we do is not for self-glorification, but for our community. And so as members of this organization, we, in our capacities, and also in my capacity as a council member, I serve on a regional domestic violence board. I serve on the nursing, the Arizona Nursing Board for all the nurses. I serve on so many different statewide appointed by the governor. But why did I say yes to those things if it was not because I want to be someone that others can say, if Christine can do it, so can I. And so they can get up and go do that. As women this evening, we have the unique opportunity to serve as a mirror for those around us. We can't delegate that to someone else. It belongs to each and individual one of us, whether we be in our home, whether it is in your home, amongst your friends, or at work. Being a clear mirror of the age that we are in right now, allow us to connect authentically to those people that are around us, whether men or women, to help them achieve and share vision and build a better future. So it is important for us right now, as I bring this thing to a conclusion, that we do not leave here today without embracing or also without a to-do list. What am I going to do when I leave here? I spoke within the context of what, why, and how. So the how now, how do you walk away from an assembly of this, gleaning into this type of women that are going to speak before you right now, for you to say, I want to do something better than I did yesterday. I will encourage you to take note. I will encourage you to also look within yourself, because everything you need, it's already within you. And if it's not there, I truly believe that it is right around you at a reach where you can actually touch it. It's within your friends, where your church is, your schools, places that you have frequented. And if you even stop at the grocery store and say hi to someone and just smile, you will find that that person also has something to impart into you. So take all of that in and then sit down and make a list. Where do I start? How do you start? You just get up one morning and you say, today is the day. I'm going to do different. I'm going to be better than I was yesterday every single day. I wear a little bracelet that says one thing I do. And that is very, very important to me because I wear it every day. It says one thing I do is that I forget about the past and I remember the goal and the point where I need to go. So every day I keep focused on that. Stay focused, because men truly fail for a lack of focus. Once you have decided to do something, I believe the whole universe, God, everything will line up itself to help you accomplish that. And so it's in those words that I'm leaving you today, to go make peace with yourself, make peace with those within your homes, and then make peace also with those outside of your home, in order for you to be able to radiate this love that Mother Moon has so grandly lavished on us. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak with you this evening.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Ellis. That was amazing, insightful. I took away to answer the call, to say yes, and to be absolutely determined and obedient to that call. And I think a lot of women here just saw so clearly when you were speaking to them, and I felt it so clearly in my heart. So thank you so much for your time, for being here, and it was an honor, and we wish you luck.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I bless all of you, and I'm gonna stay here for the rest of the evening with you, and because the doctor asked me to stay put, so I'll be staying right here. I'm not gonna go out anymore like I intended to. Thank you.
Awesome. We're happy to have you. And next up, we have Surprise speaker. So Ria Luce is our next speaker this evening. I am so excited to introduce her. She is the youngest of 7 children raised by a widowed mother and is also a mother herself of 3 beautiful, smart daughters. Ria is a registered nurse, a breast cancer survivor, and currently the chairwoman of Women's Federation for World Peace Arizona chapter. Through her connections with WFWP in 2017, Ria was able to make her childhood dream come true in becoming a radio show host. She loves to highlight positive and inspiring stories and people in the community. And we could have as we saw with Council Member Ellis, how big of an impression she gives to others and just carries that forward. So Ria, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Adia, and thank you, everyone. Truly, I am a surprise speaker, and we are praying for Miss Peggy for her immediate healing. That's why I'm just sobbing for today. And I could not say no when Grace called me and asked me if I can step in. And as true mother, Mother Moon always emphasized to us that we are all leaders and we can step in. As our councilwoman, Christine Ellis, says, say yes. So I said yes, even though I have no preparation, but I will speak from my heart. And I'd like to recognize my councilwoman, Christine Ellis, here in Chandler. The title of when I heard the title and they asked me, who is the speaker that you would recommend? Immediately, it is her that came to my mind. Woman as the final frontier. That is so impressive title. And we all have that title because God has given us that title, being the last of God's creation. God has so much hope to women because finally, when God created everything, the last one is a woman. And God said, very good. Isn't that an opportunity to really become the last frontier, right? So our Mother Moon has always emphasized, I love this. I wanted to read the topic that inspired me from her philosophy. The world desperately needs true women leaders. Women are urged to become clear mirrors of the age, developing qualities such as clarity, purity, and inner strength to overcome internal and external challenges. True women leaders play a crucial role in the path to world peace. The world of the future can be a world of reconciliation and peace, but only if it is based on the maternal love and affection of women. This is the true power of womanhood. The time has come for the power of true womanhood to save the world. From the book, Mother of Peace. And it is so compelling for all of us to understand that true women leaders play the crucial role in the path for world peace. Women needs to know herself as God's unique, divine, feminine representative of God. And it is so powerful when we can understand who we are as God's true representative, not just as God, as heavenly parent is so high, but God's representative. And if we can truly understand that value, we can always love everyone as God's creation, as God's representative. And we can truly emphasize in ourselves and how we can really make ourselves more productive, especially in our youth. One of True Mother's message, Dr. Hak Jahan's message, he says, to be a clear mirror that reflects this age, each woman needs to be clear and pure within herself. Each need to find the indomitable power within that is necessary to overcome self-centeredness, she needs to become a true daughter who attends her parents with filial piety, and a true wife who complete her husband with fidelity and devotion. Moreover, she needs to become a true mother who raises her sons and daughters with love and dedication. She needs to form a family of true love that attends God. God will raise up such true women as leaders on the path to world peace. If all women can understand that role, that responsibility, I surely believe that world peace can come about. How? When we as women can understand our true value from our youth, we should dedicate our lives to understanding God in our youth and how we can use the talent that God has given to us to become a true woman before we can engage into sexual relationship. We need to really form within ourselves, I am God's representative. And when I am one in heart and mind with God, then finally I can learn how I can use my talent and my ability to make money or to dominate the creation with love. Then you can find your true spouse. By the time you find your true spouse, commit only to the one husband, to that specific spouse, and allow yourselves to become that beloved. And once you have that child, educate the child to become the future representative of God. Then if with each women can understand that true unique value and uniqueness and our responsibility, our family can grow to become a model family whom God can be truly recognized by everyone. People would say, hey, there is something really beautiful in this family, in this couple. God must be really working in them. So that you can now, we as women, from educating ourselves, our husband, our children to understand God's heart and love, then we can be more skillful in celebrating and serving our community through all the resources that we have gained throughout the years. That, I feel, is how God can make us truly a woman God is working and hoping for. And I truly believe true mother, Dr. Jahan Moon, is the woman who educate us through the Women's Federation for World Peace. I'm talking about these ideas because I learned this from Dr. Hak Jahan Moon. I encourage you to join the Women's Federation for World Peace and understand your role into making this world a better place where God would truly become, as women with God and our husband and our children, the world will be one. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Ria. Wow, powerful words, and again, so inspiring and insightful. I think, and truthful what you said, you know, what we're experiencing today in society. I really believe too that many people are so far away from their relationship with God. They don't know, they don't remember where they came from. And that is causing all of this destruction, this division. So if we can, go back to simplicity. I mean, it seems oversimplistic, but right, it's like if you know where you come from, your origin, your source, God, that is where we can have this overflowing abundance of love, of compassion, of encouragement and potential. And thank you so much for those special words. And you did a wonderful job on the spot. You did amazing. So thank you so much, Ria, for just showing up with your heart. We all felt that. Okay, our final speaker this evening is Jan Whalen, who is the founder of Wayland Voices, LLC. Jan is a dedicated teacher, workshop facilitator, book creation coach, and mentor to writers who are deeply passionate about sharing personal experiences to deepen convictions and foster growth. Her journey about sharing personal experiences her journey has led her to focus on understanding and supporting women through their coming of age transitions, a period she believes to be filled with both opportunities and challenges. Through her writing and workshops, Jan celebrates the beauty and wisdom of well-seasoned women, emphasizing the importance of storytelling in sharing life's lessons and empowering others. Her observations on the formation of deep friendships among well-seasoned women have inspired her to create workshops aimed at enhancing female support networks, believing in their innate calling to uplift one another and, by extension, the world. Her own experiences, including extensive travel, raising children, and navigating single life, have provided her with a wealth of powerful stories and insights that she generously shares with others. Jan is also a Her Story awardee from June of 2023. Please welcome Jan.
Thank you. It is always so humbling and wonderful to be among the women in this group. And I thank you for asking me to be your speaker. Now, when I was young, I grew up in the Midwest, and I received several messages. Maybe you received some of the same messages. And I'll just tell you 4 of those messages that I received. First of all, a man was the king of his castle. And why would I get a degree? Because I was just going to get married and it would be for nothing. And the third one, in those days, women could be 3 things. They could be secretaries, nurses, or teachers. And some of us remember that. Now, and the last one came directly from my dad. And he said to me, anything a woman can do, a man can do better. And I believed him because of his example. His example was that women make food at home, but when you go out to a restaurant, the chef is a man. And I thought, oh, yeah. So I don't blame my dad, because these were just the messages that he was given. And, you know, what else would he say to me? He just was trying to prepare me for life. But these messages did not really make me want to embrace being a woman very much. So, but I think we've taken a lot of steps since that time. It's been in the right direction because careers have opened up in medicine, administration, ministry, the military, the trades, politics, and entertainment. And we've discovered that women can be great chefs. So, you know, we see new women on news anchors and in TV productions, and we never used to see that at all. As well as people of color. Films are directed by women, and the importance of that is that the women tell the story through a woman's point of view. Women command sold-out crowds at concerts, and they donate millions to charitable organizations. And most importantly, women applaud other women's work. And tonight is certainly an example of that. And I smile when I hear my grandson say, oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. She's a girl, yeah, but she's on my team. That's fine. That's fine. Or grandchildren playing with dolls of every color. And I love women's groups who support other women. I am in PEO, and I am in West Valley Women, and this group. I mean, there's just so many, and it's so very exciting. But I think liberation and change, even though they're good, yet sometimes it can become messy. And sometimes I think we overcompensate, as was mentioned before. So handling freedom with grace is something we probably all have to grow into. Yet women are creators. And we have evaluative natures, and we have the drive to keep moving things forward. So if we make mistakes, we correct. In fact, I think women are so gifted that we need to avoid the error of superiority, pitting women over men or one group over another, and allowing true choice. And so a woman who chooses to be a mother in this age, but only work inside the home, not with any other extra job, needs to have her decision applauded just as much as the person who goes on for further education and goes outside the home. So I think all choices need to be applauded. And I think we'll know that we are near the last frontier when we adopt a servant leader approach. And this is where we focus on the task at hand, and rather than the personalities. And we are also focused on the task, and we're passionate. I think that's when the real work gets finished. In groups, I think that we find diversity not something that we think we should support because it's the thing to do, but in our hearts, we know that a variety of voices strengthens the whole team, and that makes us stronger. My niece Allison has a company, and it's called Parently, and I'm very proud of her. They work with HR directors in large companies, and they work to improve the parental leave experiences for both men and women. And she's got men and women on her team. And in turn, that helps the companies. It helps the satisfaction for the other employees. It helps the community, and it helps the society. So I'm really happy about her business. And I want to acknowledge my husband, Ross. I don't normally talk about Ross because I feel like I don't want to brag, but Ross is the kind of man who he realizes that women bring valuable gifts to the table. And one time he told me, I know you have a mission, and I think that I am supposed to help you in any way I can. And that was a wonderful statement that I know I feel very lucky about. And yet it's my responsibility to be considerate of him, to make sure that my mission doesn't take all my time and takes the best of me, that I have some time left for us to build that and keep building that relationship, as relationships always need. And we don't do it perfectly. I don't mean to say that. But when we get off balance, we remind each other, and hopefully we can do it with humor. And with the everyday nature of every day, it needs to be intentional. And as Mother Moon has told us, the whole is male and female. And certainly this is in this stress-filled world, we need everybody to play their role and to be faithful to their purpose. So we want to encourage women and men to bring their gifts. And I was thinking of 3 ways that we can embrace womanhood, and they're not that difficult. And the first one you might not be surprised about has to do with writing and journaling. I really think that to know ourselves, which has been mentioned tonight, the writing is a great reflective practice, and it promotes our self-worth. And it's a foundational aspect of our calling, and it helps build our inner strength, and it empowers us to use our voice in the world. So that simple act of writing is more powerful than I can tell you. Now, the second thing is also very simple. Simply quote more women. Have you ever noticed when people quote, how many times are they quoting men, which is great. But, women say cool things too. So quote women on purpose. And, you might even start by writing down some of the cool things that your friends or your mentors have said to you, and quote those. And there are many books, and there's lots and lots of really interesting things that women have said. And I know Mother Moon has been quoted several times, and I know you also have said many quotable things tonight. Now, the third thing to embrace womanhood is to watch and to listen to other women. When you notice their efforts or their successes, or the courageous things that they're doing, point it out. What I found in my workshops is that we don't really know ourselves very well. We do things, we just are so used to doing good things that we don't realize it. And so I think it's important for each of us to point out those things in each other. So praise women and do it publicly. And of course, you know, those of us who've been in education, what you praise is what you get more of. And I know, well, Glenda, you know, is a super mom. She does that all the time. So praise them, lift them up, and most likely they don't know what they do because they're too busy just doing it and getting things done to take note of their successes. I would like to conclude by saying we are all one. And when one succeeds, we all succeed. And I know this organization is helping to help women succeed in the world. And I thank you for letting me be a part of you today.
Thank you so much, Jan. Wonderful. That was beautiful. We all felt that. I wrote notes, and thank you so much for your contribution. I believe that, yeah, if we just, again, uplift each other up, that we reflect on ourselves, we can reach and connect with more women. Thank you so much. Okay, as far as time, Kaylee, would you like to do a little roundtable session, or?
Yeah, we have a few minutes and maybe just
Okay.
one good question from everybody. So we can,
Okay.
oh, there we go.
So what are we doing now? I'm sorry, maybe I forgot. What are we doing?
We're going to have just a little discussion. I think it might be nice after we've heard from all three of these amazing ladies, might be nice to just hear from each of you, just maybe your final comments and reflections after hearing from one another and thinking about the audience and who's listening. What are the final words you want to leave people with when it comes to this topic of embracing womanhood and how we do that? I'm wondering who we should call on first, because I know that's always the hardest one, right? Well, Councilmember Ellis, your lipstick is so bright. We got to call
I
on
know
you.
you were going to call on me first, because I was the first one to speak. But my heart is so full tonight from hearing those words. Sometimes we empty ourselves constantly, and we don't realize how much we need to replenish ourselves. And it's a moment like this when there is a forum that is created for strong women that are really positioned to actually pour themselves into others. When we are sitting among them to listen to them, then we can walk away filled up. I am full to the brim right now, and I can't wait to be in another forum where I can start quoting and things. You know, these things are inspiring me to be better than I was yesterday or even this morning. So I'm grateful, and I hope those who are listening to us today will not just only understand that these things that those women are discussing or said that really empowering me right now, they didn't happen overnight. They had to live them. They had to work at them. They have to apply them into their lives. We can talk about things all day long, but if we are not taking action, we're not putting the elbow grease behind it to make sure that we get up and do those things consistently. One of my major word is intentional. We are intentional every single day about now we want to quote other women. Now we want to make sure that we allow God into our home so that we can become all that we can be. We're intentional to live pure as young people so that tomorrow our home will be a heaven of peace for those that are we going to create in our husband. We can have a place where they can come and feel that they're at home. And then ourselves, I keep worship, I keep prayer in my house all the time. So when I walk in, it's all of a sudden I left it outside. I'm not bringing it in here. I love to be around people, but a lot of time I love to be by myself. So these words that were spoken here today, when I'm alone, I'm going to be reflecting on them. I'm going to make them personal. And I'm going to say, okay, where can I teach them to the quilt of my life that I am in the process of building and quilting together. So this was amazing. I'm so grateful that I said yes. So grateful.
Wow. Yeah, I love what you said. You were filled up. I think that's what all of us feel. And we forget how important it is to make space for this. And Jan, you were commenting on that too, that this space is so important. And powerful words about the elbow grease, and we got to go and put it into action now and not just talk about it. So I appreciate that. Fantastic. Ria, I see you're looking ready. What comes to mind for you?
Well, what comes to mind for me is the Women's Federation for World Peace. That alone is enough that we women should really come together, because that's the only way when we can create world peace. So on behalf of the Women's Federation for World Peace, who put this together, I really appreciate you for pointing us out that we are the last frontier. And if we women take our role seriously and work together, not fighting with each other, but lifting each other up as God wants us to be, then I believe world peace can come about. And we invite you to come join us. Let's help our President Kaylee to, especially for America, the Women's Federation for World Peace, America and the world need each and every woman at this time to come together to support this woman founder, Dr. Hak Jahan Moon, to realize that world of peace that God longs for. Thank you so much.
Wow, Ria. Ria is the best spokeswoman for Women's Federation for World Peace, is she not? Every time I talk with her, I'm more inspired about the work we're doing. Oh, Ria, you are awesome. Thank you so much. That's really, really wonderful. Thank you. All right, Jan, we'll give the final words to you.
Wow, it's hard to follow these other two lovely women. I guess what comes to mind is that even if we have had a childhood that was not easy, a young adulthood that was not easy, we can look back and say we are still here. We are survivors. And to have a forum like this where people open up, women open up about their personal lives is so important, because I think women can tend to be a bit isolated in not on purpose. And we, not that we don't see people, but we don't get to talk deeply about our lives and realize we are not alone. And that's again, the purpose of this organization. And I have been so impressed with the professionalism of the staff with Kaylee. Oh my gosh. Everybody is so professional and so pure of heart. I love the thought of purity, which to me is not having anger, gossip, anything like that. So bravo to you. And I just love this. And again, thank you for allowing me to be a part of this tonight.
Wow. Wow, don't you want to just stay in this space? I'll just carry everyone in your pockets everywhere you go. We certainly could keep it going. Oh, I'm so grateful for everybody. We will hand it back to Adia to wrap up the program tonight. But yeah, thank you so much to our three amazing speakers tonight. We all feel really full in our hearts tonight. Thank you.
Incredible. I am so glad that we did wrap up this March with this beautiful seminar. And if you want to experience more of this, every month we have these webinars. And next month on April 25th, we will have another one with the topic Art Touches Heart, the Transformative Power of Creative Expression. But again, like Ria so lovingly expressed, she is like our number one cheerleader. Please support our founder and Kaylee with this mission of bringing women together, of creating world peace. So consider membership. The link to that will be in the chat, but you can also visit our website, wfwp.us/membership to become a member, and make sure you hit recurring so that it is just constantly recurring every year, so you can be a consistent participant with the amazing and incredible things that we have going on now and that will be launching in the future. One more thing, on April 13th, we will have another Her Story Award event. So this is a very special ceremony that we do every month to celebrate 3 women leaders in various communities all around our nation. And it'll be an exciting time to just honor and recognize, again, what these incredible women do, not only for their achievements, but again, for what motivates them, their why, their heart, how they overcame those challenges. So we look forward to all of you joining us next month. Please have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for your time and for being here. I hope you all received so much from this evening. Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening.
Awesome. Thank you, Adia. Good job. Bye.